Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Libra in the month of January 2020. 28, not even 2018, 2019. Hi, Libra. What's going on? How are you doing, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. How was your New Year's? Did you have a good time? I hope you did. Hope you were around people that were fans of yours, friends, family, those you love, and I hope they love you back. Libra, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so I might, be coughing a little bit more in this video. I apologize for that. I think it's kind of gross, but what can we do? Anyway, shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I'm going to shuffle now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all those cards are out and they're lying face up, that's when the reading begins. You're going to find a timestamp in the description box below if you want to jump ahead to when the reading actually begins. And also down there, you will find the information that you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. It's very simple. You email me, you tell me what's going on. I wait for you, or I give you a response. I tell you I received your message, excuse me. And then you send the payment, and then I send a video. Nice little exchange, right? That's how we do it in the capitalist world that I live in. Well, I guess most of us live in it too. Anyway, outcome, overall energy. Wow, okay, so look. I will shuffle now for your outcome and your overall energy, but I have to point this out because it kept coming up. This card right here, High Priestess, I feel has come up twice before, and when I was cutting and shuffling the deck, kept like being a part of that shuffle. Like I kept seeing it somehow. So we'll see if she shows up in these last two positions, but that might mean something to a few of you. The High Priestess energy, just a quick run or a quick read on it. Can oftentimes be associated with the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but it doesn't have to be that. It really is about intuition and being in touch with your intuition or having a lack of contact with your own intuition. So some of you might have that as an issue going on in your life right now, or that might be a theme that you need to address or a theme that you need to kind of pay attention to, okay? Excuse me. Wow. Maybe I should get a drink of water. One second, let me get a drink of water. Okay, guys, I apologize about that. I hope we will not be interrupted or I will have to pause the video anytime soon. I hope that was the only time I'll have to do it. Alright, guys. Excuse me. Outcome, overall energy for Libra, please, in January 2019. Wow, come on. Oh my gosh. Now all of a sudden you're shy, Libra. Let me tell you, these cards are coming out. There it is. Wow, she's been coming out too. And this too. Themes for the month. But your main spread came out pretty back-to-back. It was pretty easy for the cards to come out. So it was interesting that those kind of, like I said, did I say shy? I felt as if it was kind of like pulling back their energy there. So let's go ahead and flip these over, Libra, and see, wow, what's going on? Wow, lots of fire energy. And I haven't been following the astrology too heavily these days, but isn't like Mars in Aries or something is in Aries right now, so there's just a lot of intensity. You're the 7th, yeah, you're the 7th sign. So as I've gone on, I've noticed a lot of people have like a lot of anticipation is really high with a lot of people. There's a lot of intention going on. I mean, it is the new year, a lot of resolutions, a lot of new year, new me kind of energy going on. So it's here for you too. All right. Where is Libra in January 2018? Please show, excuse me, January 2019. January 2019. Where is Libra, please? Please show me where Libra is in January 2019. Please show me. Okay. So here and here, but I think they're going to... Okay, yes, okay, thank you. So, they were really pulling me towards those center spots, but particularly you landed here with the Page of Swords. So Libra, you're kind of in your own energy, swords energy, related to the air signs. So you, Gemini, and Aquarius are the air signs, of course. And the Page of Swords, whew, it's not a heavy energy because even though it's a court card, and court cards carry a bit of weight, it is the page, so it's the lowest of the court cards. So I'm getting the sense of, like I said, this month, and you're feeling like action-oriented. You've got things to do. You have like things kind of coming down the pipeline. So I feel like you're trying to prep for that. You might be setting yourself up with certain projects. You might be taking on a new job or taking on a new endeavor, some type of new hobby or something like that. So there is this, I want to get to where I'm going. Like, I just want to get there already. Impatience, right? And the page can be kind of, the Page of Swords specifically can be kind of snippy when they don't get what they want. Like, not in a bratty way and not in like a, stomping of the feet, I want it, a whiny way. No, like, because they're so anxious, because they're already, like, their mind is already, like, telegraphed, 5 miles down the road. It's kind of like, well, I can't wait to get there, so let's just hurry up and finish all this crap over here. So for you, Libra, I'm feeling like, in terms of time, you might have something that's, coming up at the end of January, maybe into February, and maybe even something later on in the year. Like maybe something, maybe some of you are looking forward to your birthday for, at the end of September or October. But there's something that is coming that you're working on, working towards, wanting to be a part of, and you just want to hurry up and get there, like, tomorrow. Like, that day, that event, that threshold, whatever it is you're looking forward to, if it happened tomorrow, that wouldn't be soon enough. Like, you kind of just want it here. Whenever you're watching this, whenever you're listening to this message, you wish it was already your reality. And the Page of Swords, all the pages kind of have this way of looking, like I said, looking forward and being optimistic. And I would say that the Page of Swords isn't super optimistic. I think the Page of Swords is very determined. I think the Page of Swords often wants to be clear, often wants to be understood, or doesn't want to be misunderstood, but at the same time kind of doesn't give a damn if their message is not received. Like tact, thank you. There's a lack of tact often with the Page of Swords. So to other people, Libra, you might seem bratty, or you might seem testy or agitated, and you're within your right to feel how you want to feel and act how you want to act. But I'm just going to let you know, some people are going to look at you and kind of give you a little bit of blowback, kind of give you a little bit of like, what the hell's your problem? Kind of feedback. And I don't know that it'll bother you, but I think it's just something that you should be aware of. And I don't know that it necessarily has to go further than, you know what you want and you know what you're focused on. And other people might not understand that. They might not be aware of it even. You might not be sharing your plans or sharing what is coming down the line for you. You might be keeping it a secret. The Page of Swords often is moving in calculated ways. You'll often hear the Page of Swords described as a spy, or, sort of this person that is stalking. So some of you might be moving towards something, hopefully not towards someone in a stalking type of way, but it's this clear intention, but not necessarily communicated intention. Like, it's not necessarily going to mean everybody under the sun knows your next move. And so you having this fixation on it and being kind of short with people is not a misdirection, but it like I said, it can be misunderstood. It can be come out as crossed wires between you and other people. The other part that I think I was going to mention, but let me go back to it, is the quality of the page. The page is the youngest, the novice, the amateur, the still wet behind the ears member of the court cards, right? Not as polished or refined as a knight, not as regal and accomplished as a queen, and certainly not as in control and sort of a master like the king. So you're starting in on something that's fresh to a certain degree. You are new to it, or it is, you know, like, this is your first time doing whatever you're doing. This is the first time you've encountered or you've met a certain type of person, or you're going to interact with a certain type of person, or you're going to sort of be seen a certain way is what I'm getting. Like, some of you, this is the first time that you're stepping out on your own. So maybe this is like a moving out of the home for some of you. If you're a younger person in your 20s, maybe, you know, in your mid to late 20s, maybe this is the first time that you're going to be living on your own out of your parents' home, or not with roommates. You know, maybe the new thing that you have going on is you've been working for a few years, you've saved your pennies, and now you put money down on a condo, or you've put money down on a skyrise apartment. I don't know what you do for your life. I don't know what your line of work is, but whatever you're doing, it feels as though you, for the most part, many of you will be going at it alone, or you will be recognized as an individual as you do this thing, as you step out and maybe you start dating for the first time, or maybe you've been on, you know, a dry spell and you've, you know, done some reflection and inner work, and maybe you haven't dated for a few years or a few months, something like that, and you're going back out into the dating world. And so instead of having people recognize you as they did before, as a certain type of persona or certain type of personality, or even your aesthetic, like maybe some of you have changed your hair, changed the way you dress, maybe some of you have lost weight, maybe some of you have gained muscle and you look totally different. Whatever it is, it's kind of like a solitary energy with what you're doing. And the reason I want to talk about the young energy is not only because some of you might be young and this is the first time you're doing something, but there's something, I can't really get it, but there's something going on here where there's an immaturity or a vein of immaturity going through what you're doing. Maybe you're doing it for immature or somehow not so well balanced reasonings. Maybe you're going about it. Maybe the immaturity comes because you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're not being patient. Or maybe it comes, but maybe it comes too soon, even though that pleases you. It might not work well for other people. So maybe if you're leaving your home with your parents or with your roommates and you're like, okay guys, February 1st or even right now, January 1st, I'm leaving. Maybe you didn't give enough notice, and maybe that's going to leave some people in the lurch. Maybe you didn't give enough notice to, maybe there's a cross wire. I think I said something about cross wires or hay wires. So maybe there's miscommunication about the actual day that you're moving. And so you think that you told your leasing office, or you think the leasing office told you the 1st. Actually, they told you the 21st. And so there might be some miscommunication over when you actually get up and leave, or get started on this new path in your life. And fittingly, and I don't know that all the other pages, that one doesn't look like it, but path, right? Like a golden path, like a yellow brick road kind of feeling there, where you just feel so compelled to go where you're going and to head out on your own and do whatever you're about to do. Like, nobody can stop you. There's nothing here that says don't do this or that you shouldn't do this. It's just a matter of your intention and how fixated you are on it versus how other people feel about it. There's kind of like a disconnect there. You feel fine. You feel like this is the best thing since sliced bread, and everybody else is kind of like, well, wait, isn't that kind of fast? And you're like, nope, not fast enough. Bye. You just cannot wait to get going on whatever you're doing. And that's okay, there it is. That does create conflict because we did say you're kind of in this middle ground, right? And so that's right? Yeah, thank you. So 5 of Wands right beneath it. So this could be you, but I feel it's more of like everybody involved, you know. So if this is you and your parents, this is you and your roommates, this is you and your partners, this is you and coworkers, whoever, there's this conflict going on. Five of Wands. Fives are a number of challenges. You know, the energy is not necessarily the easiest, but it is a 5, meaning it's surmountable. You can overcome it. So this could be like flare-ups and arguments. This could be disagreements or like I said, that miscommunication through emails. You thought it was the 1st, they said the 21st, and then you emailed them back, and this like this whole thing. And if you look at it, there's this guy, and it's not funny because, you know, I'm not a member of PETA, but I also don't like the idea of animal cruelty in general. So there's this guy, and he's sort of like beating these squirrels out of his way. He's just like clearing a path for himself as the squirrels are possibly attacking him. So that's what it's like. It's like this needling, annoying like flare-up, or this needling and annoying disagreement that you're having with someone. Maybe some back and forth between you and other people. And it's just like, look, why are we going over this? Like, why are you in my business? Some of you are like, why are you even in my business? You know, especially if retaliation is the word that they're putting in my head, but that's not the word, because I don't think it's retaliation. If we go back to your starting position and how some of you were like moving out for the first time, this is the first time you're leaving your parents' home or whatever it is. Some of you may have been, you know, in the past few months or years, whatever, your parents have been like, look, we need you out of here. You gotta go. And you've been like, okay. And you've been kind of like trying to not rise to any type of argument with them. And so you've secretly been stacking your chips, possibly, you know, storing your nuts like a squirrel would, right? Or is that chipmunks? I can't remember. And now that you're ready to go, it's like a big F you to your parents, essentially. Or whoever this is, whatever situation this is for you, apply it there. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. But I feel that someone is just like sticking it to the man, and the man is your mom and your dad or your mom, or whoever is the parental figure or the authority in your household. You're like trying to stick it to them. Like, look, you thought I couldn't do it, or you were just on me to leave, so now I'm leaving. So you can STFU, you know, you can shut the hell up. So there is like this whole, I'm giving you what you want, aren't I? Like, this is what you want, right? Like, why are you giving me a hard time about it? You've been on my ass for months to get a job, to do this, to do that. I'm doing it. Leave me alone is kind of what I'm feeling. And so, so that's I feel how these two are tying together. The reaction to this petty argument or this needling and this nagging that you've endured, Libra, is to say, okay, I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm doing exactly what you want. You want to push me away, or you want to suggest that I need to do things on my own. I'm going to go do it. Fine. You know, so for some of you, that's what's going on here. And then the petty side of it, are they squirrels? Yeah, they're squirrels. They're this one squirrel here in particular looks a little big. I mean, they're all kind of big for the size of squirrels. But anyway, so the perspective of this being a human male or a human, and he's fighting off these 5 different squirrels, it's kind of like, that's what this feels like. It's like, you are just this annoying little tree rodent. The 5 of you, the 2 of you, the 6 of you, the 8 of you, however many people you're having to have these arguments with or these discussions with. And it's just like, look, leave me alone, man. Just leave me alone. Like, get out of my way. The man in the center there feels like he's very determined. He's sharing that energy with the Page of Swords. Very much, I know what I'm doing. I'm out here in the woods. I'm taking a walk, and here come you squirrels in my business trying to gnaw my ears off or something. Get out of my way. So the contention is really about invasion, or feeling invaded, or feeling attacked, and feeling like I can't do right by you. I can't please you, or I can't, like I said earlier, leave this situation fast enough. There is like this background, I'm feeling like this backstory of disagreements, of having contention with yourself and other people. And now, Libra, you've hit your breaking point, because maybe you've tried along the way to be diplomatic, you've tried to clear the air, you've tried to live by someone else's rules, you've tried to respect their rules, and you feel as though you've done everything under the sun to help please them or to help smooth the situation over, and it seems to have been for naught. It seems to have gone straight down the toilet. So F it. Let me take care of me now. And Libra, a lot of that is in your wheelhouse, where I think you try to do what you think is fair, what you think is correct in a situation. And the thing about it is, when you do that, you often begrudge that you have to do it. Okay, so there's, or at least some of you are, not all of you, of course, but some of you are like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna respect the rules, or I'm gonna, you know, if I don't know who's doing this, but some of you may have lived this way, where you're in your 20s, but your parents have a curfew, and that could just be on the principle of, we own this house, we're retired or whatever. You went to college, you couldn't find a job, so some families are like that. So you might be 25 years old with a curfew on your head of like midnight, and you tried to oblige, you tried to make that curfew, but you're just like, this is ridiculous. I'm a 25-year-old man. I'm a 25-year-old woman. There is no reason that I should have to be indoors at midnight. But it's the principle of, this is your parents' house, so you try to respect it. And you did that for months, maybe even years. And this is just a very specific example. Again, if it doesn't fit your life, don't force it, but alternate it or amend it how you need, if it sounds a little bit close to home, right? And like, that's how I feel. I just feel exasperated. I feel really irritated. I feel like I'm channeling a little bit for you. I feel exasperated. I feel as if I've been oppressed or bogged down, or like you've been living under somebody's thumb, and it's like, I don't need to live this way anymore. I have the means and the ways to take care of myself, so I'm going to go do that. And then the person or the people who have said, why don't you hurry up and be your own boss or be an independent woman, Shannon, since you think you're the coolest. Sorry to any Shannons out there. But maybe someone has finally not pushed you, but there's just a break in it. And now that you're leaving, somebody's still giving you shit. And you're like, shut up already. I'm leaving, or I'm doing this. This is the thing that I was supposed to do, so now I'm going to go do it. Why are we still complaining? Like, why are you still on my ass about this? Is how I feel. Excuse me. Now, the thing is, for you, Libra, you're going somewhere. Moving, new job, new relationship, new something. Progression forward, right? The irony is, there's a lot of uncertainty still around you. Okay? Because right next door to where you start, you've got the Hermit card. Card associated with Virgo, so there might be a Virgo of significance. And if I'm honest, didn't I do theirs yesterday? Hold on. Rewind, let me think. I can't remember much, or not yesterday, the day before. See, I didn't even know. It was not even yesterday, it was the day before. But I think Virgo had the exact same card here in this position, and I think the Empress and the Moon were in their reading as well, but the Empress was down here and the Moon was over here, I think. So if you have any ties to a Virgo, or you're just curious, go look at that video and see how some of the messages might align, But anyway, so card of Virgo and the Hermit energy in general is really talking about having this pause, this extended pregnant pause. Some of you might be pregnant. Stop right there. And the Empress is, stop right now. Sorry. I don't usually talk about children or childhood or pregnancy. That's not how I work right now, but I am still developing these skills. So, and pregnant pause is a term I have said like a handful of times in my life. So some of you might be pregnant, and that could be this new path that you're basically walking alone. Some women choose to be a single mom. Sounds crazy, right? And some don't. Obviously, many don't choose to be a single mom, but that's what they have to do. That's, the path on life that they have to walk. And so some of you might be coming up against criticism or concerns about you doing this motherhood thing all on your own. And you're just like, I don't want the father in the life, or the father's not available, or the father is this and the father is that. And you're just like not here for it. You're not here for people to basically project onto you what they think is ideal for your child. Okay? So let's get back to our regular scheduled program, but that is significant for somebody out there. There is a pregnancy with that here and that here. That's totally possible. And you're kind of standing your ground on this. I'm going to be a single mom, or I'm going to partner with the father of this baby, and other people are like, but he is trash. And you're just like, well, he's my piece of trash, and he and I are going to raise this child together. So there might be criticisms of just what is down the line for this child, for the pregnancy, all of that. And you're just like, look, stay out of my business, Linda and John, whoever your parents are, whoever the hell is critiquing you. So the Hermit Virgo card, right? So there's this pause that's going on, pregnant or not, where you do some soul searching and you look at the ugly shit in your life, right? There's a burrow right there in the corner where my thumb is. It's like a little burrow inside of a tree or in the ground or something like that. So there's this diving of just this deep dive that you have to do, or you have done, or you are doing, or you're just beginning. And the Hermit is in the business of looking at the crap nobody else wants to look at, looking at the crap that you've ignored for years and years and years, the things that you've downplayed, the things that you've made up excuses for. And you might not be doing this on your own. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of Libras are not in the business of doing this. For lack of a better word, a lot of Libras are shallow in the sense of introspection is not enticing to most Libras. Introspection is something that is done once in a while when nothing else is going on. Libra likes to be social. Libra likes to be involved in other people's lives, or even in their own life, as far as like hobbies and things like that. And Libra generally keeps their mind busy. When the mind is not busy, then Libra might say, oh, what's going on with me? Oh, that stuff? Well, I'm going to go do this now instead. So there's a lot of, and I'm sorry to tell you, there's like a lot of avoidance with Libra sometimes. And that's understandable. Air signs are kind of like that. They're not known to be deep on the esoteric scale. You can be deep thinkers, deep in the realm of arguments, or not arguments, but debate, you know, exchange, communication. You guys can talk for hours about any given subject, all the air signs, whatever interests you, whatever floats your boat, whatever is, you know, a part of the current events. You can just go on and on and on. If you are informed enough about something, you will talk. That is like, you know, an air sign strong point. So this Hermit energy, again, related to Virgo, which is related to that Earth sign energy, is about going into the depths of something and coming up with whatever the hell you come up with. You might pick up some gold, likely not, but you'll probably pick up a handful of crap. And you will sit there and you will examine that handful of crap. And that's not really what you like to do. It's not really what you want to spend your time doing. Now, it being here and it's coming up against these two cards of motion, I think you might be implored to do that a little bit. I don't think you want to or would be necessarily, not to throw shade on you, I don't think many of you would be capable of doing this on your own, just sitting back, getting super introspective and getting super honest with yourself at this point in time. Because, like I said here, you're so fired up to get the hell out, and you are combating people in their petty arguments and their opinions and all this stuff. You're just too busy to dedicate the time to this. But I think this is something that either down the line, later in January, or later on in the year in 2019, this is something that you might have to come back to. This is something that you might have to become gradually open to. Or if it is a separate person from you, this could be someone who is helping you do this. This could be a Virgo person or someone with Virgo-type qualities, Earth-like qualities, that is imploring you to think a a little bit deeper about something, or consider something that maybe you haven't considered before. Maybe it's relative to this whole progression that you're doing. Maybe it's relative to something else. I don't know. But it's tucked away in this corner, and it's basically being isolated by all of this energy that is very much in movement. And like I said, this is a pregnant pause. This is something that you can't consider right now, because it would require you to stop and rest. It would require you to stop and be quiet your mind. And that's not on your docket right now. It is nowhere near in your plans. You don't have the time to sit and think. You don't have the interest. You don't have the luxury. Basically, a lot of you don't have the luxury to sit down and give a shit about what the hell's going on inside of you. Okay? You really have your hand in so many different pots, trying to get your life in order, trying to get yourself set up for the next phase of your life, that you're just like, what? Think about that. Why? No, I'm moving forward. Okay. So there is this holding pattern for the Hermit. And like I said, a repeated pregnant pause. So maybe some of you, maybe that's it. You know, you guys are moving out of the home. You're pregnant now. Let's say you're a few months along, or even a few weeks along. And you've got about 6 months left. So in that 6 to 7 month period, or however long it is until you give birth, until the baby comes, maybe you're not pregnant, but your partner's pregnant, male or female, you're pregnant, or your partner can be pregnant. And maybe you're thinking, okay, I want this, and this in place before the baby comes. So we need a new place. So we need to move out of here. I need a new job. So I need to put out applications. I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I have to settle this thing that I've got going on here, and I got to pay these bills, or I got to get this ticket off my record. I got to get my license back. Some of you are just like, you got so many things you have to take care of, that this whole what's going to happen, or this, not what's going to happen, but this this reflection into the deep, into the recesses of your mind, into the recesses of your memory, into the implications of maybe some of the things that you are doing now, or what you have been doing recently, how that's going to play out going forward. All of that, you can't consider it right now, okay? Now, right beneath him, the Hermit card, again, another card of action. You've got that Knight of Wands. So this, coming in that diagonal to the Page of Swords, is like a doubling down on this intention, or this movement, this go, go, go energy. Knight of Wands is, like I said, the Knights are a step up from the Pages in the Court card. And this is fire energy, so there might be a fire sign. You've got a lot of fire here, so there might be fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in your life that are helping you or somehow significant here, but none of that is really important, because I really feel that you own this energy too. I feel you own these two, and these are other things kind of in your peripheral or in your environment that you can deal with if you want to, but in the case of the Hermit, you're probably not to. And in the case of the Five of Wands, you just want to like beat people away with a stick, like, okay, shut up. I don't want to hear that argument. I don't want to hear you right now. So here and here, this is kind of what I'm feeling. You, yes, okay. Look, Knight of Wands. Knights travel on horseback. They travel pretty quickly, much quicker than the Pages do. And they're a lot more experienced than the Pages. Like, this is their career. This is their life. This is their livelihood. I'm a knight, son. This is what I do. I travel across the country on behest of the kingdom, da la 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 la. Okay? And so there is this idea of movement and journeying forward and being a learned person in what you're doing. But that, to a certain extent, is a projection, or is a hope, or is what you designed to do. The actual potential of doing it is a little sketchy. Now, why do I say that? Because you have this knight, and instead of traversing on the green grass back there, like the plain or the hillside or whatever, he's going over what looks like, I mean, from one angle, it looks like open mini volcanoes, right? But basically, it's a precarious movement. Instead of walking on the grass along a certain path, this guy's kind of off-roading, but he looks bold. He looks boss. So, Libra, there is a chance that what you're doing you might fall flat on your face. That is a chance in anything you do. At any point in life, you could fall flat on your face simply by walking up and down the stairs, or, you know, walking across your office to grab a cup of coffee. You could fall. Like, people trip all the time. But in a bigger scale, right? You're hoping, and not even hoping, you've put in actual practical work and time and effort towards what you're going towards. So it's beyond hope. It's a combination, it's a combination of hope and your efforts. So even when you combine that, your best efforts and your hope, it doesn't mean that you're going to succeed, quote unquote, succeed. I feel, if anything, I don't feel like a fall flat on your face and that's the end of it. I feel some of you may hit some stumbling blocks. There might be some setbacks here or there. But ultimately, more so than that, I feel that this is like, you're not backing down from your worst fears. There we go. Thank you. So maybe people are warning you. Like I said, back with the baby thing. You can't raise that kid on your own. You know how much it costs to raise a child in this day and age, and you don't even have a job with insurance, and blah, 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 blah. And people are just like reading your life to you as if you don't know your own situation. And that is known to you. You know the hurdles that are in front of you if you go and have a baby on your own, or even with a partner. You know, unless you're independently wealthy, unless you've hit the lottery recently, or unless you are sitting on $1 million idea, it's probably going to be challenging to raise a child in this day and age. But because it's difficult doesn't mean you're not going to do it, or doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. So it's like, sort of, people are warning you about whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be a baby. It could be a new job. You know, people are like, you've got a good job. What are you doing? And maybe you want to start like a podcast, or maybe you want to start, you know, your own business, and you want to start doing something that is creative. And, you know, for the last 15 years of your life, you've worked at a job that's been steady. You've got a 401k, you've got a dental plan. Everything seems kosher and by the book, right? And so you're like, I'm going to start doing this. And people are like, what are you talking about? In this economy? Are you crazy? With so-and-so at the, you know, and people are giving you this spiel on what's going on politically, and you're just like, look, that has nothing to do with any of this. I'm doing this for me, and this is what I want. So despite what people are saying, and despite your acknowledgement and your realization that what you're doing is going to be tough, you're still going to walk that walk. Instead of taking the clear, easy road along the grass, along the hill, you're going to walk over these open volcanoes, or whatever the hell they are, as daunting, as daring, as dangerous, as perhaps reckless it might seem. You're still going to walk that walk. Nobody's going to stop you, Libra, and that's cool. We all need to, you know, follow the beat of our own drum sometimes. And maybe there's a learning thing here for you. It does come right beneath the Hermit, and so maybe, again, going back to those of you who have never lived on your own before, or you've never, you know, like I said, you've never done whatever you're about to do. You're a creative person, but you've kind of always, you know, squashed that down or put it to... It's a great age. There's like a renaissance going on with music, and it's like, if this Lil Yachty and Lil Pump and Lil Kneecap and Lil Douche and whoever, Lil, all these Lils out there, maybe you want to rap. And you're like, look, if these bozos can do it, I can do it. And people are looking at you like, man, you're 38. What are you talking about? Like, that type of rap and that type of, you know, even the music industry is like a young person's game, is what a lot of people say. So if you're already in your 20s, in your 30s, and beyond, and you're saying, I want to start a music career, people are going to look at you like you've got 6 heads. And you're like, I'm doing it. So despite the risks, despite potential failures, you're just gonna go for it. Now, will that bode well for you? Who knows? Who knows? Whatever you're going towards, baby, new house, new job, new career, new creativity, whatever the hell you're doing, what's on the other side? Because it runs on the other side, right? That's why I say on the other side. So what's on the other side? You've got the Moon card of Pisces. So there might be a Pisces around you who is significant, but again, it does not have to be. Moon is about what you cannot see. Under the light of the moon, and it must have been Virgo, because I feel like it was like the reading I just did before you, which was not yesterday, but the day before, Virgo. I feel that there was something I said to them where you can see everything under the light of the sun, but when it's under the light of the moon, it's like, you better have a flashlight or something else with you, because you will miss some of the details, and there's certain aspects that you just can't predict, certain factors that you just can't account for, or certain things, especially if you're dealing with other people, leasing offices, you know, people in your workplace, people in your family. You can't know what these people think and feel 24/7 every moment of the day. So the more you introduce others into this situation, there's just more complexity. There will be more chances to be misinformed, underinformed, or just blatantly misled. Okay? The moon can talk about that. Can talk about illusions or delusions on the part of you or on the part of someone else, and it being like an active, conscious act of illusion or delusion. Okay? So that, I don't know who that's for, but that's for somebody where there is this intentional misleading. There's this intentional, I don't want to say lie, because it might be one of those lies by way of omission, a lie by way of skimming the details, you know. I don't think it's a, hey, do you think I look good in this top? You look fabulous on the inside. No, you look like hot garbage. I'm not going to tell you that. It's not like that. It's like, you know, like I said, you ask for details or you ask for more information and people only give you half of what you need to know. That kind of misleading, right? Diversion, right? And if you look at the artwork here, the illustration, you see it. This woman is like telling Mr. Rabbit, hey, look at that moon over there, that big piece of moon. Don't mind what's behind my back. She's got a chunk of the moon. She's got a chunk of something behind her back. So something that you want or that someone else wants from you, Libra, it could go either way. It's a general reading. But something that is wanted, desired, is close by. Someone might hold it in the palm of their hand, literally in the palm of their hand. But they're going to pretend that they don't have it. They're going to pretend that they don't know where it is. I don't have access to that. I need to get into my apartment because I need this, or I need... It could be something as simple as that, you know? You got a new place and you want to go in, you want to get the measurements for the drapes, or, you know, you want to put, you know, something up on the wall, so you want to see like how high the ceiling goes and all this stuff. And you're like, I got my tape measure and I got my level and, you know, I got everything. I just need to go inside the apartment real quick and check the measurements. And you're saying this to somebody in the leasing office, and the person in the leasing office is like, oh, I don't have that. I don't have access to the apartments. Lie. They do. They just don't want to help you at the moment. You know, so it could be something like that, where someone is being lazy, not doing their job, not wanting to help you because they think you're whatever. They're judging you. And so, you know, it's just like a misleading information that could, it doesn't like totally mess up the moving into the new apartment, but it certainly makes more work for you later. You know, you were planning to go out and buy the drapes and get the curtains and get the fixtures today. You have a day off from work, and now this guy is like pretending like he doesn't have the key to the apartment. It's like, dude, I took off work today, or I've only got a few hours. Please let me in there so I can do this. So, the other part, if it's not literally, well, not just literally, the other part of it is you don't know how it's going to work out. Like I said here, you don't necessarily know whether you're going to fall on your face or not. You don't know if this whole thing's going to blow up and be a disaster. You don't know, possibly, if we go back to the pregnancy thing, some of you don't know if you're going to carry to term, you know, or, you know, if you and the partner are actually going to stand the test of time. You don't know. So there is an element of you're beyond anybody else. The bigger vision is you can't bank on the result, is kind of what's here. The long-term result, Libra, you can't bank on it. And again, that's not to say you shouldn't try or you shouldn't move forward, because you're going to do it anyway. I don't need to tell you that. You know you're going to move forward anyway. But don't deny, or don't turn a full blind eye to it might not work out the way you want it to. Especially in the case of the pregnancy, where, You know, maybe you and your partner raise the child for the first 5 years of its life, and then all of a sudden you guys break up, or all of a sudden you lose your job, or they lose their job, or something happens and God forbid there's like a house fire, something like that. You can't predict when and where the situation will change, when and where your expectations will sort of fall into the shadows, and you know, it becomes unclear what you can look forward to or what you can expect. So, and it's cornered with the Hermit, so that might be something that you need to reflect on. Some of you might be, going back to that Page of Swords energy, so eager, so excited about what's coming down the line that you overlook, and maybe you don't account for those shortcomings or those setbacks. So if it's in terms of planning, in terms of money, financial planning, put something away, man. Don't just live in this new apartment all willy-nilly, full bachelor, full bachelorette kind of vibe. Nah, man, make sure you save your stuff. Or if you've taken money out of your savings, don't drain your savings to get this new condo. You know, don't make I said that here. Someone might be like, again, the word was retaliation, but sort of like throwing it in someone's face. So not only am I moving out, mom and dad, I'm moving into a condo. Is that financially sound to be a young 20-something to just have a condo and HSA fees, okay? Can you really afford that lifestyle? Don't bite off more than you could chew, okay? Above that uncertainty, illusion, delusion, all that good stuff, you got the Empress in reverse. Another, I'll show you this upright. It's the English Tarot. This is so late in the game to be telling you that, but English Tarot deck, in case you wanted to know. And I show you this upright because it's the first time I've used this deck on camera for YouTube. But again, you've got it in reverse. And I just said that about this whole account for your money and plan ahead and all that stuff. So the Empress often talks about luxury and abundance and being voluptuous and sexual and very ooh la la, you know. But she also is abundant in terms of her money, in terms of her stability. So in this reverse position, some of you might come up a little short. So if it's your first time living alone and maybe you're not used to paying all the bills on your own, or maybe to be a little shady to you on the way out the door, your parents are like, well, you're going to pay for your cell phone by yourself, and that's just a cost you didn't expect. So I feel for some of you there is this influx of cost that you haven't accounted for, or you didn't account for completely. So you're not completely broke, but you're definitely not eating out at Chipotle as much as you would like. You're definitely, you know, borrowing your friend's Netflix password and all this other kind of stuff. You're like really cutting corners, okay, with this reversal. And in terms of like the other ways in which the Empress is abundant, you might have a motherly figure, your mother, grandmother, aunt, or someone else around you. And it doesn't have to be a female, but it is a more tender feminine energy that in some ways turns a little cold shoulder to you. Maybe, you know, I'm getting, and I hate to keep using this word because it's not a word that I necessarily like, but there is this sense of retaliation. So some of you might have that type of relationship with your mother or some other motherly figure in your life where they told you to leave, so you packed your bags and you got out, and in order to stick it back to you, because you made a big deal about sticking it to them in the fact that you were moving out, they changed the locks on you, or they changed their cell phone number. Something petty, right? Something petty somebody does to like kind of tell you, well, screw you too, you know, kind of like one-up you. And I don't think that your intention for the most part in this reading, Libra, has been to stick it to them. At least that's not your obvious intention. Your obvious intention is to look out for yourself. I feel that implicitly. I feel that. Or yeah, I guess implicitly, because it's not explicit. You're not here to tell me. So implicitly, I feel that. So the interesting part is their intention. Not all of you will experience this. This is for a few of you. A few of you will experience someone intentionally giving you the shaft. Intentionally giving you a big F you as you walk out the door or as you get onto this new path and this new journey in your life. They're not giving you a bon voyage. They're being really salty with you. A few of you, somebody's a hater, and that's it. And given what's surrounding them, your best bet is to walk away, take the high road as best you can, and let them fester, let them stew in their own bitterness, whatever they're doing. Your best bet is to do that, because if you engage with them, you'll just get more petty arguments. If you engage with them, there's going to be something about it where the conversation or the exchange can be full of illusions and delusions and misleading information. You know, someone might tell you something. You know, I don't know, I don't hang around people like this, but I've heard stories where, you know, you will have people bend the truth and give all kinds of stories in order to hurt somebody else. So while you're leaving your home, you know, if you engage with this person who's giving you the cold shoulder, you know, you see like, oh, you changed the lock. So you go back and you're like, why'd you change the locks? Blah, 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 blah. And you just have this conversation. What I'm seeing is like someone out in a yard, like a front yard, and you're yelling into someone's home, or you're yelling at them while they're on the porch or something like that. And there's this exchange. And then when you leave, that person that was left on the porch, whoever it is, your mom, your aunt, I don't care who it is, your dad, it could be, they tell the neighbor, you know, the neighbor, oh, what happened? I saw you were yelling. You and young Libra were having a little bit of an argument. What happened? They're like, well, Libra threatened me, and Libra said this, and Libra said that. And it's just like, no, that never happened at all. So this person might, for a few of you, totally lie on you, totally give misinformation about what has happened between you and them. And your best bet is to leave them alone, walk away from them, okay? Whew. Outcome. Queen of Wands, another card that's been coming up for a lot of people. And for you, I think this is sort of like, you're getting your stuff together. Like, this Queen of Wands is to me, one of the more regally feminine looking queens that I've seen. You know, all the queens are, you know, having on crowns and gowns and dresses and all that kind of stuff. But hers is just like a ball gown, right? Like, and she just looks incredible to me. The colors, the red and the gold is just fabulous to me. But what I'm being drawn to is how she's like strung up and she looks a little tired. So I think a lot of you are coming into your power. You're coming into your own. It's a fire energy similar to a swords energy in that it's dynamic. It is an energy that indicates progression and movement. But what I'm getting is a lot of you are going to feel burned out by the end of the month or somewhere thereabouts or afterwards, right? You're going to feel really tired. Some of you are going to be like, she kind of looks like she's a marionette, but she's missing her puppet strings, right? So some of you are going to feel tied up in something. You're going to feel as though you're out of control. Someone is controlling you, or a situation is controlling you. So that could be in terms of those who are pregnant or have a partner who is pregnant. There's a lot where your autonomy as individuals, as people, is removed because the issue now becomes the fetus. The issue now becomes the baby that's growing inside of the body, you know? So if your intention and your autonomy and your ability to come and go as you please is sort of removed or reduced, you then become, you know, sort of puppet to the master that is the unborn child. And I mean, then of course, after it's born, it's kind of the same thing. You've signed on for about 18 to 28, maybe even more years of kind of, for a good portion, being at the mercy of someone else's needs, someone else's prosperity, someone else's well-being and health. So as much as I think you're able to take on that challenge and you're stepping into it, it all points to you're going to run right into this, Libra. I think many of you run the risk of tiring yourselves out or finding that as you take on that stance of being strong and standing on your own 2 feet, you realize, you know, that also comes with a lot more obligations and responsibilities than you might have ever encountered before in your life. Pregnancy, no pregnancy, moving out, new job, whatever your situation is, as you put on those big boy pants, big girl pants, okay, you're going to see to run the kingdom means you got to be on it. You got to be on it. And I normally say, and I didn't say it here, but I think I said it here with the Knight of Wands. But I normally say of this Queen of Wands particularly, or any of the queens really, but particularly the Queen of Wands, when I see her, she a boss. So whether you're male or female, you're a boss. You're owning yourself. You're stepping into, and you're really, really adhering to this idea of, I got to take care of me, or I have to take care of my priorities, if that means taking care of myself, my partner, our baby, whoever, or my partner with a baby. You could be the person who's not anywhere near the baby, but you're funneling your energy and your money towards the child, towards the unborn child, okay? Overall energy. All this wands, man. I'm telling you. Page of Wands. So, very similar to the Page of Swords, only I think a little more humble, quote unquote humble. And even then, not much. Like, if the Page of Swords can be viewed as bratty or immature or just like, for lack of a better word, a bitch or a dick, something like that, like too much, this person is not close behind, or this energy is not close behind. Like, this would be like someone who's being like bitchy or acting like a dick, you know, just like, you know, it's like you're basically saying the same thing, only you're changing the temperature or the tone of the label, right? You're acting like a bitch instead of you are a bitch. Like, how different is that? To some people, it's not different at all. To me, it's very different. So that's how I'm taking this. So this person or this energy, and I keep saying this person, and I haven't said that really for any other position except for maybe the Hermit, the rest of it, and maybe these two. So you've got potentially 3 other key players who are important to you. But if it's not, this would still be energy that belongs to you. But this card could be your partner in crime, you know, could be the person who, again, you're going to co-parent with, you're going to raise the child with, could be you're moving out and maybe you do need a new roommate, so this could be someone that you're later bringing into your home, to live alongside you because you realized, oh my god, I didn't realize I have to pay for everything, so you're like, shit, I need a roommate. And they would be sort of on your wavelength. They would be very similar to you. They would be just as energetic. They're a page, you're a page in terms of this reading, so you guys might be similar aged. And this person would share a vision very similar to yours. Like I said, this person or this energy, I mentioned something earlier about the path here. There's no path here, but there is this trajectory that we see. The page is running off that way, the fire along the wall there, I guess it's like a low wall, there's a fire on top of that. It's all moving in the same direction. So this person has a head on their shoulders, they have goals in mind as well. They might move, or they might have a outlook that is just like matching your speed, but the tone is different. The specifics are different. So, like, I suppose it would be like that. Like, if you, for comparison, like, maybe you would be a BMW, this would be a Mercedes-Benz. And I'm not a car person, so I don't know if, like, one is better than the other in terms of branding, in terms of, like, performance or anything. But to the layman, to the layman, person who doesn't know cars or the history or anything like that, those are just 2 luxury vehicles that run similar price points, right? And kind of come with like that same very similar social status, right? So if you're the Beamer and this is the Benz, like, to the person driving the Dodge Neon, you're both assholes. Okay? I've cursed a lot in your reading, which is number one. Normally I curse a lot, but I try not to because I respect people who I don't know. So I try not to do it. But literally, other people would look at you two and look at you as like being 2 peas in a pod. Like, look at these 2 a-holes. with their 2 luxury vehicles, living in this condo in their 20s. Who are these guys? Or who are these girls? You know? So people might be throwing hate on both you as the Page of Swords and this person as the Page of Wands. They're attractive too. Like that hair whipping forward in the wind. It's kind of interesting. According to physics, that's not how that works, but apparently that's how it works for this girl. So they're attractive. There might be something sexy between you and this person for a few of you. Obviously not for all of you. But yeah, just a similar path in life. Maybe like they too have recently moved out, or again, maybe you guys, you know, have a new relationship. This is your first child together, something like that, or whatever. They are also experiencing firsts. First time living abroad, first time working. Oh, they could be your partner. Not your romantic or sexual partner, but they could also be your business partner. Like I said earlier, for a few of you, doing that late in the game break out into the music industry. They could be somebody who's helping you. They could be younger than you. Even though you start as a page, your energy might be matching theirs and they might be younger. So this could be a young producer that you've met who's like, yo, I can make you any beat you want. Da 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 da. I can do this. I can do that. I got this. I got that. So you're there. You're 38 years old, getting in the booth, and here's this 23-year-old, you know, being your engineer, being your producer, helping you get your music career. I'm sorry, I didn't want to condescend with the quotes, but getting your career in music or whatever you're doing off the ground. So they could be that person who's there to support you. And they have propulsion behind them. They have a lot of motion behind them. They're definitely, like, if you look at these 2 pages, you can see that there's motion in both. But in these 2 illustrations, please debate me. Fight me on which one is moving faster. So I feel that the Page of Wands might be a little further along in the game, further along down their journey, or down their path rather, than you are. So, or they're just moving faster with it, which is interesting because, like I said here, you're already like boom, 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 boom. Okay? Libra. That's the reading, friends. That's it. It's over. Did you like it? If you did, like button is down there. Comment down below as well. I want to hear back from you guys how this might play out for you. I want to know. I'm nosy. It gives me confirmation. It gives me that feedback that I need to let me know, you know, that my journey is forming into a success, you know. And also, I just like to know, you know, because when quick little sidebar, when I watch tarot, because I do, I'm just like, that particular part doesn't apply to me, but that part applies to me. So, like, the highlights, what particular point in the reading worked for you? That's the kind of stuff I love to read about. So if you feel like sharing that with me, cool. If you feel like sharing this video with other people across your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, all that good stuff, your YouTube channel, whatever you're doing, that would be cool. There's a share button for that. And of course, the biggest button of all is the subscribe button. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel yet, but you think you might want to be, or you're kind of like, I don't really do it, but I don't really care who I'm subscribed to, I'll take that energy too. So feel free to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I will be back in a few weeks' time when I present your February 2019 readings, okay? I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.